It's been 15 days since the campaign against Santa Claus began. But it seems in addition to the strange blizzards and magical Beyblades, new threats have begun appearing across our lands. The world of tabs is fraying at the edges, and now there's talk of some strange new creature that can assume the identity of anyone it touches. The men are on edge. Jensen has started carrying 2 machine guns instead of 1, says it makes him twice as safe. Carl won't stop waving his knife around and threatening to cut off our hands, even though nobody has any fingers. Good thing there's plenty of duct tape in this post-apocalyptic world. Anyway, that weird guy from some other dimension or whatever says he's trying to reinstall some modifications to make everything work again. I don't know. I'm just here to fight. One other thing. I think it rips through your clothes when it takes you over. This is Sergeant Buttwup, signing off.
Alright everybody, stop, drop, and roll and hang on to your butts. This battle ain't gonna fight itself, you know. Wild men, throw your spears. Get those shield bearers up in the front. Where are my samurai? Get down those steps, our men need help down there. These blue jerkwads aren't gonna go down easily. Well, except for these guys. Good thing we have a couple of M16s on our side. Whatever happened to that Santa Claus guy that we were supposed to be fighting anyway? Now? Can it wait? Alright, fine. You guys have got this cleaned up, right? I'll be right back. It's just another day in tabs, isn't it?
Commander, a new faction has been spotted on the battlefield. The soldiers aren't sure what to make of it, and we need you to get out there and find out what it is.
Well, if you say I'm the only man for the job. By the way, aren't I fighting against you blue guys?
I don't know whose side I'm on a good day, sir.
Ain't that the truth? Alright, lead me to it.
They've been attacking men in a field outside the city. I'll take you there now.
What? You called me all the way out here for this? These look like just a bunch of skeletons. Old skeletons at that. What possible threat could these guys pose? They're already old and brittle, and they're so old that they've got beards. They'll fall apart just by breathing on them. Look, that one's even stuck up in a tree. He doesn't even know what he's doing. Blackbeard, can you take a contingent of your mateys and clear these guys on out of here? Wash them off my poop deck, so to speak.
Arr, matey. Limited edition tiny head Blackbeard will give these landlubbers a good drubbing. Arr.
I always knew I could count on you, Blackbeard. Let's see what you can do. Whoa, holy cow, I didn't want to see what those guys could do. They can shapeshift. They've turned into something else. An entire army, a deadly army. They got giants and chieftains and Vikings and some dude with a giant sword. I've seen him before, but where did these skeletons get this power? They've got a samurai giant on their side. And the cannon, guys, come on, you're supposed to have better aim than that. You're blasting all of your mates in the back. Okay, it looks like, oh my goodness gracious, even with the power of Blackbeard and the cannons, this mismatched army just wiped ours from the field. Look at this, they got 3 Vlads. 3 Vlad the Impalers, that's thrice the impaling. Who needs to be impaled thrice? Not me, I'm getting the heck out of here. We need a new strategy to deal with these weirdos. Now, last time we fought these guys, we saw some pretty godly power among them, but fortunately, up our arsenal, we have a few gods of our own. And I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, if we pull out the entire pantheon, then we'll have all of our bases covered. It doesn't matter what these creatures shapeshift into, as long as we can actually have a god covering pretty much every power that there is to cover. We have, I don't know if Alexander the Great necessarily counts as a god. He deified himself, but I think, just to have him on our side, I think will be a pretty decent, we'll have a pretty decent chance. Uller, of course, will have him up in the front lines. We already have Neptune and Thor, and who else is there? Ah yes, Apollo, Ares, Zeus, all the mighty ones from Mount Olympus have come here to face off against the horrific horde of the undead shapeshifters. We'll see what these things have to offer us. Oh, okay, quite a bit actually. Looks like they have a flamethrower now. That doesn't seem good. Uller's tossing his freezing axes, but with, okay, what is that? There's some kind of, what the, who is that another Apollo? Apollo, you're gonna have to take that guy out. I think he just took out the Reaper, and I don't know what set those guys flying, but they have a Watcher coming up. Okay, the Minotaur just tackled Apollo, the god Apollo. Who knew? Who knew that the god Apollo was actually vulnerable to getting axed in the face by a giant burly bull man? And poor Zeus got whomped on by these monkey kings. This infestation, this disgusting plague is worse than I thought. Although, I think I know what to do. When you have an infestation, you call the exterminator. Is it just me, or is that shapeshifter army a little bit bigger than before? Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, because when it comes to the sheer size of an army, nobody does it better than our good friends in the Soviet Union. Turns out that communism is actually a lot more popular in the Tabs universe than I first thought. Possibly because it has something to do with the sheer attrition value that a lot of these battles bring to the good people of Tabs. And, you know, everybody has to share the burden when it comes to these incredibly ridiculous wars. And so communism actually, it wasn't hard to find them. And given that these shapeshifters, they're basically like capitalists, am I right? They assume whatever form will give them a good return in the marketplace. So it wasn't hard to convince these guys to come out and fight for me. We have flamethrowers on the wings to burn out this horrible infestation, along with a whole mess of Molotov cocktails and this giant peasant mob, because what power is greater than the power of the people? And in the back, a few submachine gunners, the PPSH-41s, because bullets, well, comrade, they are valuable, and so only those who are a little bit more equal than others should get a fair share. Anyway, let's begin. We have an entire mess coming right at us. We got ice giants, we got gods, we got this insane swordmaster who has an entire candle. He's got like a giant torch of swords on his head. Who needs a sword torch? Not me. But apparently he thinks that it's a good idea. This knight is so enthusiastic, he is launching himself off of his horse. And look at this, some communist traitors down here. The people have turned against us. They've become part of the bourgeoisie. Well, we'll show them what that means to us. And even the power of the gods cannot stand up to the sheer force of the Soviet Union. My comrades, go forth and let us see who is the best at this. Okay, it looks like the Void Archer has just launched one of his arrows. They have two Void Archers. That's, oh, okay. I keep going into first person mode, but I don't want to do that. And it looks like the Void Archer is already making a really big mess of things. Okay, the battle has been joined. The weird Swordmaster is being dogpiled by a bunch of communist peasants. The flamethrowers have now made it to the front lines, and they are starting to do their best to burn away everything that they can see. But those Void Archers, man, they're causing black holes to appear in our ranks. And look at these poor peasants. They're just getting eaten up here in the center. It's a sheer dog pile, a mass of carnage and death. Uh-oh. Those bombs are not gonna help either. Submachine gunners, you need to do something. Start shooting. Why are you getting so close? What happened to the flamethrowers? They're all gone. The Watchers are gone. Okay, all right, you know what? I am assuming direct control. I need to, oh, no, wait, no, okay, there's no one to assume direct control of anymore. Oh my goodness. The power of communism has faltered against the overwhelming power of the shapeshifters. Oh my goodness. What was all of that? It looks like that we put a dent in their numbers, but they just kept coming. And the communist peasants just fed themselves to the machine. We're gonna need some overwhelming firepower to deal with these guys, and I think I know just who to call for that. Glad you could join us, Sergeant Buttwump.
That's Buttwump. The M is silent.
Yeah, sure, whatever, Sergeant Buttstomp. Glad you and your boys could make it today. We're gonna need all the bullets that we can get. The shapeshifter army is as big as it's ever gonna be. The communist peasants want to have another go at it, though. Don't tell them I said this, but I think they'll just mostly be a useful distraction, because the real firepower lies in these shotgunners, juggernauts with 2 M16s, and a whole row of bazookas. This should be able to deal with pretty much anything that these guys throw at us. If it doesn't, Oh look, there's one little flamethrower dude. They weren't too helpful in the last battle, so I kind of sent them all home. Well, I mean, there were only a few to send home because they were mostly dead, but if this doesn't help us defeat this plague, I don't know what will. So let's begin. Alright, the modern faction is moving forward with the power of communism on their side. It looks like the shapeshifters have assumed quite a powerful contingent, but actually not quite as powerful as I thought there would be. The bazookas are unleashing pure heck. And you can hear that the M16 is going off. Oh my gosh. Please tell me that they aren't shooting themselves. They have a necromancer among them. Jangles, is that you? No, of course it isn't. I was just hoping to see a familiar face out here on the battlefield. The shotgunners are going to town. This skeleton giant is getting absolutely destroyed by bazooka men and shotgunners. Although he's putting in a good show of it. Well, no longer. His bones have been cracked. The communist peasants are pretty much being annihilated as I thought that they would be. That chain lightning is ripping right through their ranks. The Molotov cocktail gunners have started setting everything on fire willy-nilly. And the shapeshifters have assumed the form of the god of war. But what is a god to the power of bullets? I ask you. And it looks like at long last, with the sheer numbers of communism combined with the overwhelming firepower of the modern faction, by their powers combined, we have total annihilation. Well, Sergeant Buttwup and his friends can stand tall, knowing that they did indeed save the Tabs dimension and keep it safe for another day. Although safe is kind of a relative thing to say in this weird universe because there's always something crazy happening. But I am always happy to revisit it. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. And remember, shapeshifters are out there, and they will find you. I'll see you guys on our next voyage. Bye-bye.